Hey there, history fans. Welcome back to another thrilling episode where we unravel the threads of the past to understand the present. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most significant events in human history, the French Revolution. This wasn't just a series of chaotic events, it was a profound transformation that reshaped the world. Imagine a society teetering on the edge of a cliff, where every step could lead to disaster. The tension was palpable, and the stakes were incredibly high. This society was riddled with inequalities and simmering with discontent. The rich were getting richer, and the poor were getting poorer, creating a volatile mix of frustration and anger. That was France in the late 18th century, a powder keg waiting for a spark. The air was thick with the sense of impending change. Now picture this: opulent palaces, decadent parties, and a king more concerned with his shoe collection than the plight of his people. King Louis XVI's detachment from reality was astonishing. Meanwhile, the common folk, burdened by taxes and famine, toiled in poverty. Their lives were a stark contrast to the lavish lifestyles of the nobility. This stark contrast, my friends, was the perfect recipe for revolution. The disparity between the classes was not just economic, but deeply emotional and psychological. The French Revolution wasn't just some random riot. It was a seismic shift in power, an upheaval that sent shockwaves across the globe. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new world order. It challenged the very foundations of absolute monarchy and ignited the flames of liberty, equality, and fraternity. These ideals would go on to inspire countless other movements and revolutions. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the tumultuous years of the French Revolution. Get ready to witness the birth of modern democracy and the relentless quest for human rights. Alright, let's break down the causes of this historical earthquake. The French Revolution didn't just happen overnight. It was the result of a complex web of social, economic, and political factors that had been brewing for years. First up, we've got the social hierarchy, which was deeply entrenched and highly rigid. This system divided French society into three estates: the clergy, the nobility, and everyone else. At the top, we had the clergy and nobility, living large on the backs of the commoners. They enjoyed numerous privileges and paid little to no taxes. Then at the very bottom, we had the third estate. Everyone else: peasants, artisans, merchants, you name it. This group made up about 98% of the population. They bore the brunt of taxation and had little to no say in government. They were the ones who worked the hardest but reaped the least benefits. Next, let's talk economics. France was in dire straits, thanks in part to lavish spending by the monarchy. Looking at you, Marie Antoinette, and costly wars. The 7 Years' War and the American Revolution drained the treasury. The treasury was practically empty, and the commoners were hit hardest by skyrocketing food prices and economic instability. Bread, a staple food, became so expensive that many couldn't afford it. Last but not least, we have the political landscape. The governance system was outdated and unresponsive to the needs of the people. France was an absolute monarchy, meaning King Louis XVI had all the power. His decisions were final, and there was no room for public input or dissent. There was no parliament, no constitution, no real representation for the people. The commoners felt increasingly alienated and powerless. Enlightenment ideas emphasizing individual rights and popular sovereignty were spreading like wildfire, fueling discontent with the existing order. Philosophers like Voltaire and Rousseau inspired people to question authority and demand change. The year is 1789, and things are about to get real. France is on the brink of monumental change, and the air is thick with anticipation. The king, desperate for cash, summons the Estates General, a representative assembly that hadn't met in over a century. This move was a gamble, a last-ditch effort to solve the financial crisis plaguing the nation. The Third Estate, sensing an opportunity, declares itself the National Assembly, vowing to create a constitution. They take the famous tennis court oath, pledging not to disband until France has a new political framework. Then comes the storming of the Bastille on July 14th, a symbol of royal authority. This fortress, once a prison, becomes the epicenter of revolutionary fervor. This event, my friends, was the true spark that ignited the revolution. The fall of the Bastille sent shockwaves through the country, signaling the end of the old regime. The people, armed with whatever they could find, stormed the fortress, freeing prisoners and seizing weapons. It was a powerful statement against tyranny and oppression. The revolution was in full swing, and the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen was adopted, proclaiming liberty, equality, and popular sovereignty. This document laid the foundation for a new France. But the road to freedom was paved with turmoil. The streets of Paris and beyond were filled with unrest, as people fought for their rights and their future. As the monarchy resisted reform, the revolution grew increasingly radical. The struggle for power intensified, leading to a period of extreme political and social upheaval. Section 4. The Reign of Terror, Justice or Bloodlust. Fast forward to 1793 and the revolution takes a dark turn. The Reign of Terror grips the nation, led by the Committee of Public Safety and its most infamous figure, Maximilien Robespierre. The guillotine becomes a grim symbol of this period, as thousands are executed for perceived enemies of the revolution. Now, the Reign of Terror is a complex and controversial period. Supporters argue it was a necessary evil to eliminate threats and preserve the revolution. Critics condemn it as a brutal period of violence and paranoia. Regardless of your stance, there's no denying the chilling effect it had on France. Section 5. The Rise of Napoleon from Revolution to Empire. Amidst the chaos and bloodshed, a new figure emerges, Napoleon Bonaparte. A brilliant military strategist, Napoleon rises through the ranks, eventually seizing power in a coup d'état in 1799. He crowns himself Emperor of France in 1804, bringing an end to the revolution. Napoleon's reign is a tale of two halves. On one hand, he brings stability and order to a nation ravaged by revolution. He implements significant reforms in law, education, and administration. On the other hand, he's a military conqueror, waging wars across Europe and expanding French influence. Section 6. Echoes of Revolution, Impact and Legacy. The French Revolution might be over, but its impact reverberates through history. In France, it topples the absolute monarchy, paving the way for a republic and inspiring generations to fight for liberty, equality, and fraternity. But it's not just France that feels the tremors. The revolution's ideals spread like wildfire across Europe and beyond, igniting revolutions in Latin America and inspiring movements for social and political change. The French Revolution reminds us that power ultimately resides in the hands of the people. It's a testament to the human spirit's unyielding desire for freedom, and a stark warning against the dangers of inequality and oppression. Section 7. Conclusion. The enduring significance of the French Revolution. So, there you have it, the French Revolution, messy, chaotic, and utterly transformative. It's a story of hope and despair, of progress and bloodshed, of idealism colliding with the harsh realities of power. The French Revolution reminds us that history is not a straight line. It's a messy tapestry, woven with countless threads of human ambition, struggle, and resilience. And within those threads lie valuable lessons for humanity. Lessons about the importance of liberty, equality, and the constant struggle for a more just and equitable world.